Hey guys, I had to stop it because it did it again. It just went like black.
Hmm.
It's like that one that always does it, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
the one with problems with. What's up with that? So how is everyone doing today? I see 4 in here, but I don't see any highs or so maybe we're just running a little behind.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. No, I'm kidding.
Sing it. Sing it, girl. I'm loving the backdrop. Who is that?
Lilith.
Lilith.
My
That's
daughter.
like so serpent, isn't it? I mean, it's like dragon.
I love it.
That
Love
is
her.
excellent.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, yeah. Hi, Maria. Hi, A Fool's Journey. How are you guys doing? Doing good? Good. Lilith from D4. Oh, what is D4? A video game?
Oh, I don't know. I found it on Google. I'm not going to lie.
Oh. Well, it's an excellent backdrop. I love it.
I don't know who the artist is, but I wished I did. Yeah. Beautiful work. It is not my own.
Oh, International Women's Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo-woo. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. The goddess is coming back. Oh, Diablo 4. Okay.
Diablo.
Okay.
Interesting. I
It's a
must
Blizzard
play
game.
that.
Okay. So today we are talking about claircognizance again, but this time about how we can help develop it. As I was saying last time, I think of like claircognizance as, because it's the clear knowing one. I feel like it is like the ultimate of the clairvoyant or of the clairs, because I almost feel like it's a combination of several of them. Because for me, I've said, well, and this is misperception, but I don't literally see like spirits in front of me. I know some people do, but that's traditionally what I thought clairvoyance was. I don't really hear someone speaking in my ear. I do hear my own voice. Clair empathy is a big one, but sometimes I've not put 2 and 2 together. Like, well, if I'm feeling this, or if my back is burning, or I've got this going on, what does that mean? I've never put 2 and 2 together. But claircognizance is just that thing that you don't understand why you know. And it could be a combination of all those things coming together in different ways. And that's how you knew. Just like, I don't know.
I agree with that.
And it's very closely associated with the crown chakra, which is right here. And this is like your connection to divine, right?
Right.
Hi, Jan. Hi, Tangi. How are you guys doing today? So, what were some of the things that you came up with for ways to develop claircognizance, things that you can do? And what about you ladies that are in here?
Well, one thing we can do, we can call on our guides to help us be more open to these things. Visualization, even practicing things like automatic writing or other forms like that. And I also wanted to say, like, for crystals, lapis lazuli as well. But I do have some exercises pulled up that talks about some of the things that I just mentioned. So if you're going to work with your guides to develop claircognizance or work on it to make it like more powerful, it instructs that you start with simple meditation, focus on your breath and your body, and you clear your mind, take some relaxing breaths. Then you set the intention that you want to develop this ability or take it further to the next level. Then you call on your guides. And then it says to state basically what's on your heart, or tell them or declare what you need their help with or their guidance with. And perhaps they could kind of guide you in learning or developing the ability further. Now, visualization exercises, of course, we know meditation, but it also says to combine meditation with journaling, and it'll help you kind of picture what you want to get out of it, your ability, I mean. And then visualization exercises. Start by pulling out your journal and a pen. Write about your life when your claircognizance is fine-tuned and increased. And I recommend for anybody experiencing these things, or like a clear knowing, to kind of jot it down in a journal anyway. Then you can kind of see the patterns and how it's working with you, and further develop around that information you collected to help increase your ability to use it.
I think these are all really important things. I just wanted to add also, because I think that you and I probably looked at the same article on these, but it can be your guides. It can be your angels that you're working with. It can be your deities that you're working with. It can be your higher self, the connection with your higher self. It could be source energy. It could be the universe. It could be whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable working with guides per se, just do your higher self if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and meditation, having like not just meditating every once in a while, but actually having like where you do a meditation every day, even if it's just 5 minutes, you know, getting your body kind of like used to being in a different state. Right.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I definitely recommend like 5 minutes a day for everyone. And then later you can like push that up to like 10, 15, and 20. But I agree.
Another thing is music.
Mm.
I like to bebop around, you know, and just listening to music, and for a couple of different reasons, because I think when you listen to music and you're in a good mood and it lifts your spirits, it also lifts your vibration. And I believe that divine knowledge that we get, because we're talking about our crown chakra here for claircognizance, it's just a knowing. So that's coming from this, right? This connection that we have. So that comes from a higher vibration. So working on raising your vibration within itself, I believe, can be one of those things.
Oh,
What
yeah.
else you got, sweetie?
It also instructs that you can make, is that Zener or Zener?
Zener cards, yeah.
Zener cards. And yeah, what about also starting to trust in your gut or what your body or ability is telling you? I know a lot of us kind of second guess it when it comes through, and we're like, nah, was it? Actually like learning to believe and trust in that knowing is important as well, I think.
I think that is really the biggest thing for all of it, if I'm being honest, is just trusting in what you're getting. And, you know, Cortney, you and I were talking earlier today, and it was either last night or today. I think it was today. And the word imagination came up. What is imagination? Is it your ability to tap into an alternate reality or a truth of something? Is it? Or is it just because you just got done watching something and your imagination went wild with you? I think it comes down to just trusting in what you're getting and not always understanding why you're getting it, but just trusting in it, right? And there's ways of testing that too, like asking simple questions that you already know the answers if you're dealing with some sort of like divination or something, right?
Right.
Testing it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely the Zener card. So playing games like chess, brain games, puzzle games. These are all things that get you thinking like ahead of time, logical, using and seeing your way out of stuff. Like I said before, even my mom, she would do like certain math problems and not know how she got there, but she got there. What is that? My husband, I've joked with my husband, who doesn't believe in any of this stuff. We'll go to the damn grocery store, and my husband, we've got this little game. Okay. After all the groceries are done. So if my daughter's with us, we'll play this game. So how much do you think it is? And whoever gets closest is the winner. We don't really win anything, but other than the fact that we won, my husband always gets it. I mean, and it's uncanny. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Are you secretly, do you have like a little calculator in there, or what are you doing? And he doesn't. He just will, off of the top of his head, well, okay, it's 29.29. And it'll be like 29.50. I'm like, whatever, okay. $352. And it's like 351 and change or something. It's like, whatever. Okay. Come up with these percentages off the wall. He's just joking around sometimes, like that dry humor shit. Like, he did this one day at work, and he, one of the office ladies was like, do you ever drink water? Because I'm always like, complaining, drink some more water, drink some more. And because he drinks coffee all the time, he goes, do you know that coffee is like 95% water? She's like, no. He's like, yeah. He was just around with her, right? Just pulling that out of thin air. She goes and researches, and it was like 95%. I don't know if that was the exact number, but crap like that. And then trusting. Where does that come from? Right?
I agree completely. Yes.
The more and more you recognize it and trust it, the more and more you'll get information fed to you.
Yes, that's true too. Like when I learned to kind of believe in and trust mine, it's like a never-ending flow, and it gets more interesting too. The more you open yourself up to that, the more interesting things you just know.
How many times have you watched a show and you're like, I know what's going to happen? I mean, I'll be talking to the TV, right? And I'll say, oh, this is going to happen. They're like, whatever. And it ends up happening. But now I'm to the point where, because I don't want to interrupt anybody, I'll just, in my mind, say, I know what's going to happen. And I swear to God, it always happens. Now, some of that you could say, well, that's just because there's nothing that's original anymore. That show is played out so many times, right? It's just different characters. So you take it over for a couple of minutes.
Oh, yes. So, sorry, guys. There was something else on this article that I did want to share. Let me just find it a moment. So another way to exercise it would be to get a close friend, Rachele and I, or the ladies in the group. Oh, sorry. Let me read the comment. In the middle.
I felt like that's where you were going with that comment. It was exactly what she was doing with her friend in middle school.
Awesome. Yeah, that is where I was going with it. And I feel like we do that in the group chat a lot too. Between like each other, kind of the exchange of information and the knowing. How many times have we called out so many things in our group? Like,
exactly.
So I feel like practicing, like holding the intent of boosting that ability amongst you and friends.
Yes.
We even played a game where we would post songs to each other and try to like know what they were listening to. And that was interesting too.
That's why I stopped saying it out loud, Dandy. Sorry. I have to keep muting myself because there's people. It's such a nice day here. It's almost 60 degrees here. And so Sully keeps on seeing people walking. So I'm sorry. So if you want to take over a bit, sweetie, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Had a conversation with a friend. Swear happened a week ago, but I know the whole conversation already. You know, something that's been happening a lot lately. I've noticed that amongst a lot of different people and myself. That's really interesting, which kind of takes me back and makes me think a bit about like this clear knowing, and then like what Rachele said with the imagination thing. Is it imagination, or are we tapping into other realities? Did you get a glimpse of that conversation? And perhaps when it came up, you had that inner knowing, like, hey, I know this. Like, I have this information already. So, great example.
Tapping into like the Akashic records,
Yeah.
right? Or dreams.
Oh,
Dreams. Oh my gosh. Downloads. Maria, was it you that I was talking to like a few weeks ago? No, it was a little bit longer than that. Maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago. And as we were talking, all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I started hearing like a flapping in my ear. I mean, like, and somebody had mentioned that this happens to them, like a bird flapping their wings or something. It was like really intense. I've never had that before. I've had ringing in my ears, but it must have been like something that we were talking about the topic at the time. And it was like bam, 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 but like really fast. Bam, 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 bam. I was like, what the hell is this? I think that is a clear sign. Pay attention to whatever conversation that you're having right now. Who are you talking to? What's going on? Pay attention to your surroundings or something. The helicopter. Yes. It was not a helicopter though. It was something in my ear. Just at first I thought, is there like a bug or something in my earlobe or I mean, by my eardrum or what? But it was lasted for about a minute and then it was gone.
wow.
I've not experienced that since. Told you to write it down in that moment. Yeah. And I can't remember. Squirrely mind. But how many times have you done something or your instinct told you not to do something or to not develop a certain relationship with a certain person, that it was not going to end well, or that your personalities maybe would clash or what have you? You didn't listen and then trouble came.
Been there.
Yeah.
Also, it's uncanny the way that we'll just know things too, like in our path, all because of a dream. It was like I knew that I had, for example, Norse in my family somewhere, so I went searching for it and found it, and I just knew that from like a dream I had.
Wow.
The other night, pressure and pop, mine do that, and they've been doing that like for a year now. It's a very common thing. It's interesting.
It's almost like airplane. When you're up in an airplane, if you've ever been in an airplane before, and the altitude causes, that's why they say to like have chewing gum or something. It'll help you while you're in a plane, right? Why would it be happening just willy-nilly? Is it because of barometric pressure? Or what is causing it to pop and stuff? That's just like weird.
Yeah, I wondered that myself.
The heartbeat. This was not a heartbeat. I do get the heartbeat. I feel like I get the heartbeat. I can like hear my own heartbeat in my ear.
Yeah.
But I do, or like even purring sometimes. I can tell when my cat is purring and almost like hear it. And then I get up close and the cat's purring. But that might be something different. Maybe I feel it, feel the energy waves or something. I don't know. But this was definitely like a bird flapping its wings. It was weird.
Wow.
Oh, did you already do that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, honey. I had that ear thing a few times. Oh, that was just, oh my God.
That has to be like a little bit like frightening, like a bird almost like flapping in your ear. I'm trying to like imagine that.
It was super, super loud. It like took everything. I couldn't hear anything else because it was just like bam, 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 bam. Like really, and it was my right ear. because she was talking to me, and we were doing the FaceTime like that, and all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell? And I have never experienced anything like that before, and I haven't experienced it since. She said she thinks it was in January. I don't know.
Now, I remember you telling us about that, but also something I've noticed, like between Chris and I as well, a lot of synchronizations. When those are happening, our ears will pop or like do funny things, or we'll just know something amongst each other as well. That's interesting.
Yeah. Energy and sound. I know, I should. I will say that is probably one of the things. I am getting better with the journaling, but I'm still not perfect. But I do think that there is major advancement that can happen when you are writing stuff down, because I'll tell you, I'll go back and look at my dream journal, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that I even had this dream. And then it kind of like resonates. It's like weird.
Do you guys hear that too? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's me?
Yeah, it just switched. Like.
Okay, let me get out and I'll be right back.
Okay, honey. Hi, guys. When you write those things down, include date, time, moon phase. Yeah, I got to get better with my journaling as well. I have stuff written all over the place, but it's not neat. I can never find it when I need it again. And I got to get better with it.
Exactly. Every time I start talking about certain topics, it does it to me.
I know.
What the hell, man? Getting too close to the truth. I hope so. Yes. So what kind of things do you guys do? Give me some ideas of what you do in order to trust your gut or honor what is actually happening to you, and knowing that it's actual information, not just your imagination. And do you have a normal like meditation practice? And do you journal? Do you do automatic writing at all? That's another one I have not done, but I need to do, because I think that there's something to that.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, that's kind of what you're doing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's taking me to many places. And what's interesting is some of it that I've been getting in, I have a knowing to my core that it's the truth for me, at least, working with what's being flowed to me. But it's like a knowing that it's not my imagination. Like this is real. Like this is coming from somewhere, and it's real. I'm not crazy. Like I know it. You just kind of like that saying. One of my favorite sayings is, "You know when you know." And that is simple, but yet very like compelling to the truth. You know when you know.
I mean, think about it. If a friend kept on telling you this information that you just kept saying, oh, whatever, they would stop telling you, right?
Right.
But if you actually validate what they're telling you and recognize it and say, yeah, wow, they're going to keep on giving you more information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just makes perfect sense. Light codes. She says, I sense a glitch in the matrix. The reptilian staffed in. You guys. I love you guys. Have I told you lately how much I love you? I feel family.
I've been getting a lot of like reptilian stuff too in my knowing recently.
Yes. I just love that. Where else can you actually talk with other people? I mean, really.
Yeah.
And it's them just get you like that. Just saying reptilians, and we're like, yeah.
Yep, we're vibing.
It's aliens. They're messing with our technology again.
Yep.
You guys are literally family. I I just feel that.
Awesome people.
Yeah. What did I miss?
Mm.
I jokingly call me auto writing, auto tuning. Oh, yes.
First mind is best answer. I agree with that. Usually, like your first
Yeah,
initiative thought.
I agree. Now, sometimes, like some of the things that we've done with like groups that do like pick a card or Zen or whatever, sometimes I will just whatever I think first, right? And 9 times out of 10, it's right. It's more right than when I go, okay, wait a minute. And then I, try to guess it. And then I think it's when you let the analytical mind get involved,
Right.
that's when you get it wrong. Over analyzing.
It's literally almost like we feel it's blind because we're stuck to our senses and like this, but it's almost like a blind following your knowing, your intuition, more so than like second guessing in your head.
Yes. Let's see. In tarot, I feel more and more drawn to use decks with great images, where I can draw the messages from the image rather than the classical meaning of the card. I keep that in mind, but mostly use pictures. I'm
Awesome.
heading in that direction too.
Same.
I mean, there's, at least in my development right now, I always think about the meanings. But even the meanings to me have changed a little bit. I don't
Mm-hmm.
always necessarily go with, even just as a broad meaning, I don't go with what the tarot says the meaning is.
Same.
I chose my own. It's my system. They're my reading, so they're going to be the way I think that they're going to be. But see, even that I feel like is a connection with spirit, because you're telling spirit, okay, this is what I think this means. So show this to me when that's what that means. It's still a connection, right? If you're using it like divination, even if you're using it for the psyche, you're telling your psyche the same thing. So
Very
it's
true.
a system. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, Cortney, I am void jumping a lot lately. Astral light
so
body.
am I. And by the way, somebody has been trying to visit the past 2 nights. Their
Do tell.
shield. Hmm.
Do tell, honey.
Yeah. Someone's been astrally trying to observe me, and I sense them there. I know where they're at. I'm not saying like it's that person, but I'm just saying like I've been jumping through voids myself, like in my sleep, but also I can sense when there's someone there. I don't know who yet, but
Yeah. There was a lot of like ritual stuff happening too, wasn't there?
oh
You
yeah,
were being drawn into other people's rituals.
for a while there in my dreams, yeah, they were really dark, and I was in like ritualistic uh settings, and there were like tombs and crypts around it too, like crumbled up. But yeah, it was intense. Like they would, I don't want to get like too graphic, but it was
Right.
brutal, and it's very sexual as well. But I can't remember any of the faces.
See, I
um
wonder if they're not really doing that, because I watched a video where they were talking about actually astrally doing that to people,
mhm.
grabbing them astrally and putting them in these
Yeah.
rituals. And then, even though they might try to wipe their memory or what have you, they're still retaining some of that. That's putting
Mhm.
them deeper into like a fear state.
I'm not afraid because I mean I took control back. I have but I do sense that power because it's like I don't remember anything when I wake up, but then throughout the day the flashes and images come back to memory. And yeah, usually I dream very vividly, but for a while there it
Um,
was very dark and reoccurring like that. And Yeah, so strange stuff happening in dreams, but I've now, of course, got my servitor at my side every night.
Yeah.
So I don't think they can get through him, which is a good thing. I set that in motion, and I've been dreaming again since, having my
You
own
think you blocked it for a while? Or at least you
I
were not
think they
able to
sent
remember
I think
right
I
now?
can't remember, but I do believe, I feel that they sent things after me to collect me and then took me wherever and performed these rituals. I don't know what for. And if it was to put me in fear, I'm
It didn't
not.
work.
No.
They clearly don't know you that well.
I know. I was like, ooh, kinky.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. I literally, like, I told Chris about it and I was like, kinky, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Me too. Knocking on my doors, walls, etc. I keep on seeing in my mind's eye somebody standing at my bedroom
Let me,
door watching me when I
she
sleep.
might enjoy that dream I just had then too. I've
Which one,
been
honey?
where I called you Lilith, and I feel like we were
Oh,
observing like what was going on. It was the most interesting dream. Now, mind you, I am kind of writing about this topic, so I don't know if that influenced it a bit, but I believe it to be like a message or a knowing, kind of what we're talking about.
yeah.
I was writing the second book, and when I went to sleep the other night, I dreamt we were in a very old temple. It seemed to be like sandy area, like Mesopotamia, and I could tell I was observing through like Inanna's eyes. Like I wasn't her, but I was just there to observe what was going on. And I remember looking over and calling. There was a woman like standing there at the temple door to watch, because what was happening between Inanna and this other person or entity was forbidden in secret, and they were trying to hide that. But they ended up getting caught. But it was Lilith watching the doorway, trying to protect or keep it concealed with her.
Mhm.
And I turned, and it felt like you were there, and I called you Lilith. And yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I woke up and I wrote it and put it in the book. I was like, this juicy stuff. Like, yeah.
Well, you want to know something that's really funny? I told you this earlier. My sister called me specifically last night to tell me, to remind me of a dream that my mom had years and years ago about death coming. And there was a pink Teletubby. And that's about the time that she said, I don't want these dreams anymore, because many times when her dreams would happen, she wouldn't know who was going to die, but somebody was going to die. And but this was, I mean, a lot of years ago, because I remember her calling everybody and going, because it was around Halloween. So she thought somebody was going to be like dressed up like a Teletubby. She's like, just watch out for the Teletubby. You know, watch out for the Teletubby. And then I had that dream about a pink Teletubby that it was
Wow.
Lucifer. Just what, a week ago.
Transformation.
Yes, and it is my death year. So yeah, that could be transformation in my death year.
That's how I kind of see it.
Me too.
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember. And usually, because I agree here, you do have to stay in control. However, it almost seemed like it was the people pursuing me when I was jumping through the wormholes. And there were several astral, or I was dream walking to Rachele. And there were several times there where I felt influences coming in, and I was like trying to combat them. There were others where I was having an experience, and then I felt the energy shift, and I knew something was there, and I just turned and lifted my hand and banished it and said, "You're not, going to do this or intervene in my realm of existence right now." And yeah, then that one with the men in black chasing me, it happened after that. My dreams went dark, and that's what I was dreaming about.
But you kept on traveling through wormholes.
Wormholes, yep.
That makes me think of like a black hole kind of thing too.
Right.
And what was it that we just talked about with Samuel or Samael? That the description of Samael was that he was so tall that it would take 500 years. And it was all dark with like eyeballs all around, right? I'm sorry. Eyeballs all around, which makes me think of like a black hole.
Right. Yeah.
All black, and then eyeballs. The eyeballs were all of the like galaxies that had been swallowed up.
That's an interesting way to look at that. Yeah, because they're all almost associated with.
And then your dream of Samuel or of Lilith and Samael.
Mm-hmm.
The association between the two. Anyways, that's one. We're going to save that for the wormhole or for the other live.
Yeah, the other one.
The rabbit holes.
Looking at the moon and seeing blood on it, then losing a family member. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. I didn't lose anyone, but I have experienced seeing that actually. It was like a vision. Excuse me.
Yeah, I've not experienced that.
Where she's running from a monster with a baby going through different dimensions. Interesting.
It just made me think of the movie Jumpers or Jumper.
Samael, yeah. Well, that's debated. Some say it's like he's doing God's dark work, but I believe that Samael is pretty much death, the Grim Reaper. Also, a lot of other things. Interesting guy.
Yeah.
Witch's wormhole.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add about claircognizance? About developing anything, you know? I mean, you could essentially do a contract if you wanted to do a contract.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I was also thinking test your intuition as well. You could do this in like many ways. Take a little like piece of paper, get 3 cups, put the cups over the paper, mix them up, start testing what you're feeling and go for it and see how many times you're right. And then keep practicing at that and keeping tabs and tallies of how many you get right. I've done it with stones and other things.
I just think ultimately it comes down to trusting yourself. If you're
Yeah.
getting information you don't understand, even like when you're doing a tarot reading, right? And it seems like the information that you're getting is just like crazy. Like, what the hell is happening here? But when you say it, the other person says, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense because it wasn't for you, right? You're just relaying a message. But I think just trust in yourself and what you're getting, write it down, meditate. Yeah.
Overall, yes. Don't second guess yourself and put your faith in yourself. Faith carries people a long way. Faith is a very strong, strong thing.
Oh, and one last thing. Listen to higher vibrational music. I feel like that can also open up stuff. You know, they also even talk about like classical music. When you're pregnant, using classical music will actually help expand your child's mind more. I never knew that, but you know what's funny? I listened to classical music when I was pregnant with my first, Tyler, and I told you, he is so friggin' intelligent, and he's ambidextrous. He uses both. He was 2 weeks late. He didn't want to even come out. They had to induce me 2 separate times. And he is just like, I mean, his front lobe is like really big. You know how they protrude sometimes?
Yeah.
He's just like, he's so intelligent. We used to play these games on the Wii system, and it was like mind games or whatever. And they were like testing the different categories of your brain and how you analyze stuff. And my husband and I both are pretty intelligent, but Tyler, he would, and this was when he was a teenager, he would kick our asses. And these are just like regular questions and how quickly you can answer them, because intelligence is not based on what you know, it's how quickly you learn something. Right. And he was just, he was just like coming at stuff like really fast, but like, whatever, geez, Tyler. And so I think that there's something to that. You know, I think that kind of stuff can open up other areas in our brain.
Oh, I agree. With Jetler and my older three, I listened to a lot of like Evanescence, classical, things like that. And man, like I said, if I could like relate him, his head has always been larger too. He was born with a large head, and and dwarfism. But the thing about this kid, he is so intelligent and so strong and powerful. Like his brothers relate him to like Ivar the Boneless all the time, like because he's that strategic and like intelligent and that like rah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Tyler has a really big head. Bailey has a really big head. As a matter of fact, when Bailey was a baby, we had her tested because we had heard about like waterheads. And so we had her tested and they said her noggin, I mean, she literally, I mean, I joke around that I'm a bobblehead. When she was a baby, she looked like a bobblehead because her body was so, she was so cute. But she literally, because her head, we all have big heads. Oh, funny. They got to be big to house these big, huge brains. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Take care, Julianne. Thank you for coming and hope it all goes well with the kitty.
Yeah. And
happy International Women's Day. Yes. I actually am doing a video after this for that. So.
Right on. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This was good. Next week, I don't even remember which one it is, but the last 3 weeks, the last 3 ones, we are going to break it down into what we're going to talk about the signs as well as things that you can do to develop it. And we're going to leave it to 1 week. So then the next week, I think there's 3 weeks left instead of carrying it on between 2.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great.
Happy International Women's Day, everybody. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Monday.
Bye.
Bye, guys.